call me B Money. Getting money, honey, call me B Money. Not even funny, call me B Money. Living where it's sunny, B for short, don't call me Sir Buddy.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for watching the B Money Show. I'm your host, B Money, and today we're going to talk about how to go from no credit to a 750 credit score and better. And just so you know, I'm going to go ahead and show you this right here. I know technically that's 747, but close enough, okay? Anyways, the first thing you're going to want to do here is figure out if you have surprise credit, because a lot of times people don't even realize that they have a credit report because they had some doctor bill that charged off a bunch of years ago, and they have a terrible score when they thought they had no credit whatsoever. In fact, that's what happened with me. I had a nice little surprise when I was trying to buy my first car, and they told me that I actually did have a credit score, and it was horrendously terrible. It was like 500 something because I had like a $2,000 doctor bill that was just chilling on my charged off. So if you are in a position where you have some bills and stuff that have charged off long ago, like I was, you might want to just call that company that purchased the debt and see what you can do to get that taken off your score. In my case, the bill was about $2,000 that they were asking for, and I was able to get them down to $1,500 by telling them that was all the money that I had. So feel free to negotiate with these like debt collectors. They a lot of times buy the debt for super cheap and then try and get you to pay the full amount, but as long as you pay them more than they bought the debt for, they'll sell it to you. So I pretty much said, look, I'm a college kid, I only have $1,500 in my account. If I give you $1,500, can we call it even? And they said, yeah. So the next thing that you're going to do is have them send something in writing that says that they're going to remove it from your score. And then the other thing you're going to do is not give them your bank account, because they might try to wipe you out. So instead of giving them your bank account, if you have like a prepaid card of some kind, put the exact amount of money onto that prepaid card that you told them that you were going to pay, and then pay with that prepaid card. So if they try and pull more money out of it, they're not going to be able to. Now, past that, the first thing you're going to want to do, if you have a major bank, you can all of these banks pretty much will tell you what your credit score is, and we're going to take my bank right now, Chase Bank. They have something, it's called Credit Score by Credit Journey. Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, all that stuff is fine too. I just like using my actual bank, and I feel like they give you probably a little bit more accurate of a score. I have no way of verifying that completely, besides the fact that when I've gotten my credit run in the past, it usually was a little closer from my bank than it was from Credit Karma or Credit Sesame. Nevertheless, Chase Bank, they actually will show you your TransUnion credit score. So there's 3 different types of credit bureaus. You've got your Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Chase, they show you your TransUnion. So the first thing you're going to want to know is like what you're looking at. So I'm going to pull up my Chase credit score here and kind of give you a little idea as to what that all makes up. So right here we have the actual credit score itself. We can go down a little bit and we can see my full credit overview. That is mostly the mortgage right there. But from here, if you want to get actual specifics, what you're going to do is you're going to click on the report. The report is going to have everything that you need to know. This is everything that's going to make up your credit. From you got your mortgage right here, a couple credit cards right there. Just keep in mind none of those are collecting interest or anything like that. And a student loan. Past this here, this is the first thing. So if you have bad credit, the first thing I'm going to recommend that you do is you're going to look at your derogatory marks. Now, if you got a nice little check mark there, then that means that you are primed and ready to start building your credit. If you have a list of stuff, you're going to have to knock out that list of stuff before you actually try getting bogged down opening credit cards or doing things like secured credit cards to quote unquote build your credit. Until you take care of the derogatory marks, your credit's only going to go up a very little bit. Now, after the derogatory marks, you're going to go to your collections. Now, the collections is where I had my original doctor bill that I didn't know about from an old accident that I had had. If you see a check mark in both collections and derogatory marks, then you're good to go. It's time to start actually focusing on building your credit. If you have anything in here, the first thing that you're going to want to do is pay off all of that before you even start trying to worry about how to build your credit. So, from here, once you have all of your derogatory marks and all of your collections paid off and off your score, that is when you're going to actually try and start building your credit. So if you have no credit whatsoever, the first thing you're going to want to do is get a secured card. Secured credit cards, you could do a very simple Google search and you'll find every company and their mother has a secured credit card. So the way that this works is you're going to put what's called a security deposit. This just means that whatever that you pay the credit card is what your limit's going to be. In my case, I had a $200 security deposit, which meant that I had a $200 credit limit. With that said, never use more than 30% of your actual credit limit. So effectively, if I was going to keep my score good, I would make sure that I would never put more than 30% of $200 on that actual secured card. Also recommend paying it off every single month in full. Credit card interest rates are extremely high and it's never worth paying the interest rate. And even if you have a 0 APR offer, just don't forget that you are going to have to pay that back, so don't go crazy with it. Now, with the secured card, if you have the secured card for about like 6 months and you're paying it off in full every month, no late payments, anything like that, you're going to see your credit start to go up pretty quickly. Now, in my case, like I said, I started off in the 500s. After about like 6 months of that secured credit card, the next thing I knew was that score was going up like 15, 20 points basically every single month. And once my score got to about like 675, now I had some other companies start with better credit cards start hitting me up saying, oh, you're pre-approved for this credit card with this offer. So once my score got in that like 675 range is when actual credit card companies started seeking me out and trying to get me to apply for their credit card. So now, one thing that I didn't know and one of the big mistakes that I made was I didn't realize that a secured credit card, after you keep it for long enough and you can qualify for their regular card, you can convert the secured card to whatever their like basic credit card is. At that point, they give you your security deposit back. So I didn't actually know that. I was like, I want my security deposit back now. I don't really know how this works. Let me just cancel this credit card and get my security deposit back. So that's what I did. I canceled my card. Now, my credit took a hit for that because closing out credit cards will affect you negatively. It's nothing crazy, but with that said, when you open a credit card, like for the most part, have intentions of keeping it for a little while. And also it'll affect your actual credit history. So the first credit card, like I said, it took me about 6 or 7 months before I was able to get a good credit card. And with that said, the credit card that I got was actually the Amex, was an Amex card. So my credit history is actually 6 months shorter than it could or should be had I kept the secured card and just waited for them to send me the security deposit back. And once you have some better credit cards, they actually do have some pretty good offers. And at some point, I'll make a video for you all on how to actually make money from credit cards. Because if you do it right, you can make some pretty good money from these credit cards and all these bonus offers that they give out. Because most people just never pay off their card in full every month and pay the interest rate. And these banks and credit card companies make a killing off of their interest rates. But so with that said, they offer you all kinds of money to open the card and spend a certain amount, knowing that most people are not going to actually pay off their card in full, and the bank is going to make their money back tenfold because of their 20% interest rate that they got on the card, which is like totally crazy. And I always, as a rule of thumb, say that, you know, if you are going to finance something and your rate's higher than 5%, you want no part of it. So if you're going to finance something, make sure your rate's less than 5%, or you want no part of that financing deal. You're going to get ripped off. It's not going to be worth it. So with credit cards, because your rate is never going to be 5%, just pay it off in full every month and be done with it. You'll get some small perks like, I don't know, 1 or 2 or 3% cash back. It's not going to make you rich, but it is a little something nice when you see your little cash back and you just know, oh, cool, I could deposit $200 in my account whenever I feel like it. So that's good to know, that you could use that in emergencies or if you want to use it on travel or something like that. So the whole thing about building credit is if you're going to want to be, you know, purchasing a house or getting an apartment. Short of that, you basically don't really even need credit. It's like kind of just something that you can pat yourself on the back and be like, great job. Because, you know, people with 850 credit scores are paying a lot of money in interest. So in my recommendation, if you are going to build your credit, just build it with a goal in mind. Like in my case, I was trying to buy a house. I'd been trying to buy a house for years and years. So I just said, I'm going to build my credit until I can buy my house. Once I buy my house, I'm paying off everything, and I'm not going to worry about credit at that point. So I actually went and got a whole bunch of credit cards, went and built my credit, never put more than 30% on any of these individual cards, paid them all off in full, and then the next thing you know, I had a 750 credit score. If I'd have kept doing what I'm doing, I could have, of course, gotten it significantly higher. Like I said, after the 750, it's pretty much just bragging rights at that point. So I have no interest in necessarily getting it any higher than where it is as of now. Maybe in a couple years from now, that might change when I'm going on to buy my second, third, fourth, fifth house, things like that. So yeah, so that's going to be the main reason why you want credit. You don't want credit to buy a car unless, you know, you're going to get like less than a 5% interest rate. And even still, I really don't recommend financing cars. So use your credit strictly for purchasing a house or getting an apartment.
Call me B Money, getting money, honey. Call me B Money, not even funny. Call me B Money, living where it's sunny. B for short, don't call me sir, buddy.